by the time you see this, it's a good possibility that it's going to be either the AM, or it's going to be really, really early AM, or it's going to be the afternoon, could be the evening. Either way, you should be getting this after midnight on Tuesday. Sir Disney here, we're going to talk a little Raw, and Raw was a setup. Yeah, plain and simple. Raw is all about setting up potential matches and heading towards Extreme Rules. And the show was kind of bland. A couple high spots, but pretty much bland. And the crowd, oh my god, the crowd was terrible. Didn't really react to much of anything. Got the return of Kane, even though it was a pre-tape segment and it wasn't something that was in front of the live audience in the ring. No, they still got that, and they also got the return of Evolution, and the crowd was kind of like, let's sit on our hands, in a really awesome 20-minute plus match between Dolph Ziggler and Wade Barrett. But, I'm not biased, not at all. So, we're going to talk a little bit on what happened on Raw last night. I will say right now, quick shout out, and I want to talk a couple of things before we get started. A little housekeeping, if you will, because that's how we do. So, once again, I do want to say that I got a surprise last night, and Will and Ben actually came over, and we did a video of sorts, kind of talking about what's been going on lately with the three of us. I was off camera, but Will and Ben were on camera, and that video should be coming up shortly. It's about 30 minutes plus. So yeah, we're just talking about random things, and the fact that Will and Ben are officially returning to Pop, so we'll be getting their videos in the very near future. Another thing as well is the fact that I shot out another Halloween Horror Nights speculation video, this time of course for Hollywood, more John Murdy codenames, so you can check that out as well on the Halloween Horror Nights playlist. But if you watch the video right now, it's a good possibility it's on the recent videos playlist, so you can check that out. It's on the main page here on Pop. So, I want to talk about the show. We're going to talk about it a little bit differently than we normally do. I didn't write much. I have 2 pages. Here's the reason why. Well, first off, I was kind of distracted tonight, to say the least. I've had a lot on my mind lately, and you know me, I'm not going to go into it on here. But I will say that things are not the greatest right now. Now, don't get me wrong, things are awesome in a lot of ways, but there's a few ways that they're not, and I really don't want to chat about that, and it's personal, and obviously I try to keep my personal life off the channel. So, anybody thinks they know, they probably do. If they don't, then everything's better left unsaid. So, I don't want to talk about anything like that. I want to talk about Raw, and that's exactly what we're going to do. This was a tribute to the memory of Warrior, and it started off with an awesome 10-bell salute with the entire roster standing on top of the ramp, wearing Ultimate Warrior shirts and various paraphernalia. And we had a moment of silence, which was almost ruined by some stupid fan in the crowd, which I'm pretty sure he got beaten down. That's the reason he shut up immediately, because someone probably punched him. To say the least, you don't ruin a 10-bell salute, unless you're just incredible in ECW. Because that's how you get heat. But no, that fan was not trying to get heat, he was just trying to be a jerk. So yeah. Hunter gets everybody to chant Warrior at the same time, so the entire crowd is chanting Warrior, and that's how we start off the show. Now, as announced on the WWE app, there is actually going to be a King of the Ring style 8-man elimination tournament to determine who will be the #1 contender for Big E's Intercontinental Championship, and will go on to face him for the championship at Extreme Rules. Excuse me. Now I said, and I stuck to this is how Fandango gets the Intercontinental Championship. Still could be, but he's not in the tournament, so immediately that was dashed. So I felt like an idiot saying that right off the top. I said it numerous times, like, yeah, Fandango's going to get in there, and he's going to win, and Summer Rae's going to go with Big E, and then they're going to feud, because Layla, of course, with Fandango now. No, it didn't happen that way. Maybe eventually, but not yet. set up an 8-man tournament, and the first round matches would be tonight. Mark Henry against Cesaro, Rob Van Dam and Alberto Del Rio, Jack Swagger and Sheamus, and Wade Barrett and Dolph Ziggler. So that would be your matches for this evening. And of course, we will get our next matches, our semifinals will take place, I don't know, presumably on SmackDown or next week on Raw. I don't know, it just depends, honestly. We have a couple weeks till Extreme Rules, so who knows what we're going to get. Well, we started off the show with our first matchup being the first round will feature Alberto Del Rio against Rob Van Dam. This is Van Dam's longest match in WWE since returning last week. And it was okay for what it was. They went back and forth. We got to commercial, and then of course Van Dam hits Rolling Thunder 1-2 and a kick out. He hits the standing side kick to the ribs, and he spikes like an exclamation point on the DDT 1-2 and a kick out. Catapult to the middle rope, and Van Dam leaps off the middle rope with a standing side kick, which is misses, and then catches another standing side kick. Split-legged moonsault, and Del Rio gets the knees up, and backstabber 1-2 Van Dam kicks out. Kicks him in the spine, goes up top for his double chop, and he gets caught with a spinning heel kick. He goes up top, does Rob Van Dam, gets crotched up by Del Rio. He climbs up and nails him with a step-up enziguri kick. Van Dam falls off the top, 1-2 and a kick out. Goes to lock on the cross arm breaker, gets countered into the body scissors roll-up, 1-2 and a kick out. Charges in, Van Dam gets the back elbow up, and he sweeps Del Rio off the middle rope. Goes up top, 5-star, 1-2-3. It was okay match for what it was. Van Dam moves on to round 2, in this case, the semifinals of the tournament, and he will face the winner of the Mark Henry Cesaro match, which will be later on in the show. So, of course, Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella are celebrating their nuptials, so they're on their honeymoon right now, so they're not on the show tonight. So, that being said, no Daniel Bryan on this show. So we get a backstage segment. Triple H talking to Randy Orton and Batista. He says, you know, I get it. You guys both want to be World Heavyweight Champion again. And, of course, announces the fact that Bryan isn't there tonight. But they have a much bigger problem in the Shield. Hunter says, you know what? I'm unsure that anybody can stop the Shield if they're united, which they are right now, obviously. Stephanie says she knows someone who can, and she's looking right at him. Hunter says, you know, if you, me, and Batista, talking to Randy Orton, can be on the same page, absolutely no one can stop us. Batista and Orton say, you know what, we just want to be champion. We don't care about this. Bryan's your problem. You're on your own. But later on in the night, we get a non-title match with Jimmy and Jey Uso against Batista and Randy Orton, pretty much making up for the match from last week. So we get our first Warrior Memory segment, which actually focuses on the SummerSlam 1988 battle between Warrior and the Honky Tonk Man. If I remember correctly, Honky was supposed to wrestle Brutus Beefcake. Brutus Beefcake got injured on Superstars by Outlaw Ron Bass. And he was replaced by Warrior. Warrior pinned Honky in, like, seconds to win the championship. That was the Intercontinental Championship in this case. And Honky will do battle against a great friend of mine and someone I used to manage back in the day, Jock Sampson, very soon. So check that out if you get a chance to. So, basically, our next match. Tag team match, it is the Brotherhood, Cody Rhodes and Goldust against the Nexus Relocation program of Ryback and Curtis Axel. They're using this new, like, awesome mix of their two theme songs. It actually works for me pretty well. Excuse me. So, this match was okay for what it was. It basically was all about the finish of the match. Cody Rhodes was going for a standing moonsault. He hit a Terry Funk style moonsault. And he nailed the double jump plancha, and he pushes him back in the ring. Springboard missile drop kick, 1 count only because Axel makes the save. Goldust tries to charge in. He gets low bridge by Ryback. Beautiful disaster on Curtis Axel, and he goes for the beautiful disaster on Ryback, but he runs into a meat hook, and that's it. 1, 2, 3. So Ryback actually won over the Brotherhood. It's amazing how far Cody and Goldust have fallen as a tag team. Maybe they really are going to do this split somewhere down the line. I think the timing isn't the greatest right now. So if they're going to split Cody and Goldust up, have them have a match at SummerSlam against each other. That'd be a good idea if you want to go that direction. They really do. It seems like it at least. We get another really awesome promo for Bo Dallas, and I'm very happy Bo Dallas is coming back to the company. The Bo Dallas that I know from NXT is not the Bo Dallas that we saw feud with Wade Barrett. Oh no, this is a completely different Bo Dallas, a motivational speaker. It's really interesting because he is the most hated babyface. I remember calling him, and I said this numerous times, it's on many, many NXT videos, that I called Bo Dallas the John Cena of NXT because he is the most hated man on that roster, and he's a babyface. So yeah, that was interesting. So that Bo Dallas coming to the roster very soon, which is awesome. Can't wait for that. Divas Action, your new Divas champion Paige taking on Alicia Fox. So yeah, this match basically showcased that Alicia Fox on her new move, and this one ended up being a Tilt World Backbreaker, which she hit 3 times. And she ended up running into Paige's short arm back elbow. Actually, no. Paige ran into her short arm back elbow, and Northern Light suplex 1-2 and a kick out. Locks on a chin lock, and ended up getting forearmed twice by the champion. Straight kick right to the ribs. A forearm. The rolling short arm clothesline, which she likes to do a lot, and she drop kicks her off the ropes and locks on the Scorpion Cross Lock for the submission. If you've never seen the Scorpion Cross Lock, you might want to check out some matches from an awesome, and I do mean an awesome competitor from Japan called Bull Nakano, former WWF Women's Champion. So yeah, Bull Nakano used to do the Scorpion Cross Lock all the time, and I like how Paige is using it because obviously the Page Turner didn't work too well before. I think it's just the fact that it was so quick. I mean, the timing just messed up. I think the Page Turner's fine, but it just didn't work in the context that it was used on Raw last week. So I think that using the Scorpion Crosslock, which looks more devastating, and something that most people have never seen, unless they saw the Bull Nakano and Lunder Blaze feud in WWF in 1993. Excuse me. 95, sorry. I get my years messed up, sorry. I can't do math and I get my years mixed up, so yeah. I actually watched that match, so yeah, there we go. But yeah, that's what I was thinking you'd do right there, and it was interesting to see what we did with that. It was just a match introducing us to Paige. Paige will continue to wrestle. I'd probably say that she ends up against Oksana soon. Another match against her former worst enemy in NXT, Summer Rae. I think that might happen sooner rather than later. I think that'd be pretty cool. So I think since she worked Alicia Fox tonight, she'll work Oksana on SmackDown, since they pretty much go together like peas and carrots. So, yeah. Get our next match. It is the tag team match of Jimmy and Jey Uso not defending the WWE Tag Team Championships against Batista and Randy Orton. So, to completely eliminate what happened last week, the Usos jumped Orton and Batista at the bell, knocked him to the outside, and hit the Samoa Suicide Dive before the match even started. So, we go midway through the match, and they're battling on the floor. Orton's beating up the Usos, and sure enough, here comes the Shield. So they attack. Orton gets tossed into the barricade by Roman Reigns, and the Shield surround Big Dave, and of course, they hit the Superman punch on Batista. He powders to the outside. So we are really seriously getting this evolution against the Shield program, which I have no issues with whatsoever. We get our next Warrior Memory segment with, of course, the historic WWF Champion versus Intercontinental Champion match from the Toronto Sky Dome at WrestleMania 6 between Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. And I always liked that match. I always will like that match. So, Orton and Batista leave after this, and Triple H just pretty much just shakes his head like a disapproving dad, says, "I told you so." So in our next match, it is another match in the first round of the Intercontinental title #1 Contenders Tournament. It is Cesaro against Mark Henry. And Paul Heyman, of course, has to come out before and basically give us all a lesson in remembrance about the fact that he facilitated Brock Lesnar breaking the streak. And yeah, this didn't make Will very happy. And who knows, maybe we'll get footage of that eventually. Possibly. It might happen. So, basically, he brings out Cesaro, the King of Swing. He comes out to no music, and which means either he's going to go old school and not come out to a theme, or he'll go back to his old theme, which I liked better. But maybe he'll get something else completely different once Cesaro breaks free from Paul Heyman, faces Brock Lesnar, and once he defeats him, he becomes a super uber babyface, and that's going to be awesome. So, this match was basically just a showcase of Cesaro beating the crap out of Mark Henry. And we talk about that, but then I go to the finish here. Mark Henry had a clothesline, made a cover 1-2 and a kick out. Cesaro with a neck snap stops Henry's momentum, and he gets caught for the world's strongest slam. He floats over, lands on his feet, and nails the Swiss uppercut to the back of the head. Gets on the middle rope, hits the Swiss uppercut again, and Gotch-style neutralizer on Mark Henry. 1, 2, 3, and Cesaro wins, showing his tremendous strength yet again. Speaking of tremendous strength, we get our next match of the evening. Whew, excuse me. What a long night. It is going to be a battle we've seen on NXT before. The Bulgarian Brute Alexander Rusev taking on Xavier Woods. Of course, Woods has R-Truth in his corner, and Rusev is flanked by the lovely Lana. So, basically, this match was just a squash with Woods tapping out to the Accolade. And after the match is over, Truth came in to try to stop any more beating on Xavier Woods. And, of course, there was a stare down, and Lana held him off, and said, Rusev, crush. And you know what happened? He got nailed with that leaping Muay Thai kick, and Truth is knocked down. So I think we'll get Truth and Rusev on SmackDown, if not on Raw next week. Our next Warrior Moment segment is something of one of my personal favorites of all time. The late, great, ravishing Rick Rude and the Ultimate Warrior at SummerSlam 1990 inside a steel cage. That match was phenomenal and should have been the main event of the evening, but was not because it ended up being Hulk Hogan against Earthquake. I really liked that build the Warrior and Rude had, and that match is awesome, and I will always remember it. So, we get our next match. It ends up being another tournament match between Sheamus and Jack Swagger. This match, longer than I was anticipating. Let's go midway through the match. Let's go to the end, shall we? He goes for the clubbing blows. He nails it, goes up top, battering ram, 1-2 and a kick out. Catches a back elbow and gets backdropped over the top rope. Lands on the ring apron, gut shot, and a slingshot shoulder block. Gets turned into the Patriot lock. And Sheamus kicks him off. Swagger just mows Sheamus over with a shoulder block, knocks him through the ropes to the floor. He charges in with a shot straight to the kneecap. And then he rams the knee into the steel steps, tosses him back in, and he walks into the brogue kick. Sheamus wins out of nowhere. So what I think they're building towards right now, especially given the fact that who wins the next match, I think Sheamus is going to either A, lose because of injury, B, not even be in the match at all and have to sell an injury, because after the match was over, he was limping. He actually almost fell, but a fan basically helped him get up so he could walk to the back, or limp to the back in this case. I think what we're leading towards is Sheamus getting knocked out of the tournament via an injury, and that's how his opponent will immediately go on to the finals without even really doing more than just working once. So I think that does end up happening, but we'll see. It's interesting to see where we go with this. So we get another promo for the Adam Rose experience, of course, the Exotic Express, and we get to see another really awesome party. Ain't no party like an Adam Rose party, because an Adam Rose party don't stop. We see little people and people in costumes, and they were playing Hungry Hungry Hippos. I mean, Adam Rose is the real right here, and I know what you're thinking. He's a ripoff of Aldous Snow from Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Get Him the Greek. His Russell Brandness aside, I really like the Adam Rose gimmick, and I cannot wait to see him debut on the main roster. I'm not exactly sure it's the right time yet, but who am I to argue with WWE? And I really want to see Adam Rose more often. So, Damien Sandow comes out to cut a promo, basically saying he just wants to be heard. He basically just... It's like Dennis Farina talking to the Guys on the sports radio station in Big Trouble, saying, you know, we're looking for some Gators fans, and there's no Gators fans calling. So this guy calls up. He's like, well, I'm a Gator fan, and I'm calling. So Farina calls up and basically says, you're an idiot, and everything like that. So that's pretty much what I was thinking here. He got interrupted. And he gets interrupted with the Big Show, of all things. Big Show says, you know what? I deserve it. And be careful saying you deserve something, because that's what got Penn Jillette fired on The Celebrity Apprentice. And he says he earned it. And again, more things that got Penn Jillette fired from Celebrity Apprentice. He says, you know, Big Show, what do you have to say? And he's like, no one can say I do not deserve it. I'm telling the truth. I'm the future of the WWE. I'm a future champion. When you see me, you see greatness. And Big Show thinks he deserves it, and by it, he means a knockout punch. So he lays him out with the WMD, and that was the end of the segment. God, Sandow's fallen so far so fast, but I have a feeling this is building to his involvement in the Angry Young Man stable, which I think ends up with different persons in it than it originally had. It was supposed to be Miz, Dolph, and Zack Ryder, and I think Sandow has more than written his check into that group, and I think that probably does end up happening. So, this is something I'm really excited about, and it's another awesome Bray Wyatt promo. Bray comes out, he basically says, you know, I never lied to anyone. John Cena's made a career of lying to everyone, and I have you right where I want you. Abigail will be my sword, but I don't want to yet slay the beast. I only want it to come out and play. Ask and ye shall receive. John Cena comes out, and he says he wants to have a little fun. So, yay, we're going to get jokey John Cena. That's always fun. He says the Wyatts would be fun after taking him to happy hour, and he shows a picture of Sister Abigail, which ends up being Bray Wyatt in like a bonnet and a wig. And so's his mom, Bobby Joe Wyatt, and what is she on Petticoat Junction? And it's Luke Harper's face on an old woman's body, and then John Cena's also talking about a new family member, a new baby just born, a little girl named Chastity Lynn Wyatt, which is Eric Rowan's face on a baby. It was freaking stupid, to say the least. I don't like hokey-jokey John Cena at all. I like when Cena gets serious, and when Cena gets serious, it's a lot better. So, Bray basically says, John, you know what? You're hysterical. All you know is how to make jokes about things. And basically says, you know what? Why don't you get serious? Well, Cena says, you know what? I can get serious. And when I get serious, you get beat. See, this time the tables are going to be turned. See, you're going to be the one fighting for everything. See, you talk, but it's proven that you cannot back it up when you don't have the family at ringside with you. Why don't you leave them behind and face me one-on-one? So I'm making the challenge at Extreme Rules, me and you one more time in a steel cage. So Bray starts laughing to himself and basically says he likes that idea. He's like Mikey with Life Cereal. He likes the idea, and we get our pretty much unofficial announcement, something we already knew, John Cena and Bray Wyatt. In what is not an Extreme Rules match, it is going to be a steel cage match. I really wish it would have been something else, stipulation-wise. But it's a PG era, so obviously it's not going to be the barbed wire match I wanted, so, I mean, that's not going to happen. But still, anyway, we're still going to get Bray Wyatt and John Cena in a cage at Extreme Rules, so that'd be pretty good. So in our next match, it is Fandango and Layla taking on Emma and Santino Marella. So basically, this match, really short. The dilemma gets locked on Layla, and she goes to the middle rope. She gets pulled off, and that's the 3 count. Fandango tries to interfere, and Santino knocks him off the ring apron. So, yeah, no awkward date theater this week, which is good. Win for Fandango. That's always a good thing. Still no involvement with Summer Rae yet. It'll happen soon. So, we get an interesting segment. Stephanie McMahon is browbeating Kane. Basically says, you know what, your job performance as of late has been rather dismal. You know, you let your personal feelings get in the way of dealing with the Shield, and Kane's like, you know what, I apologize, and Stephanie basically says, you know what, how about I just give you a nice little laundry list of all your failures. You used to be a monster. Now you're a shell of your former self, in that very Vince McMahon tone. So definitely, she is her father's daughter, to say the least. And she says, what happened to the big red monster? Kane gets up from his chair, looks at his mask, which has been enclosed in that glass case, lifts the case off, looks Stephanie dead in the eye, and says, I will eviscerate Daniel Bryan and send him to the depths of hell. He's left holding the Kane mask, and that's how we end it. He doesn't show up the rest of the night. So obviously we're building towards the return of real Kane, not Citizen Kane or Corporate Kane or Glenn Jacobs, whatever you want to call it. I mean, the deadbeat dad Kane, you don't have that anymore. It's going to be Kane gear and mask and everything. So yes, it's going to be awesome. So we get our main event, which ends up being the Shield in a 6-man tag against nobody knows. So one by one they announce people. Alberto Del Rio, then Jack Swagger, then Fandango, then all 3 members of 3-man band, and Titus O'Neil, Curtis Axel, Ryback, Alexander Rusev, and Wade Barrett. That's right, an 11-on-3 handicap match. When the Authority was talking about punishing them, they were being serious. So Roman ends up spearing Ryback, and everybody brawls. This is all on the floor. Ambrose with the suicide dive, and Rollins with the tope con hilo takes everybody down. They all get tossed back in the ring. Ambrose gets hit with a GSK from Del Rio, and Evolution's theme hits. Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, they come to the ring, and they're like, get out of the ring. So everybody bombs out. RKO on Roman Reigns. Batista bomb on Roman Reigns. Then an RKO on Seth Rollins. Ambrose tries to get involved, and he gets booted aside. Batista bomb on Rollins. And then the Batista bomb neck break, reverse RKO on Ambrose to lay him out. Roman's crawling to his feet to try to grab Triple H to get up to his feet. And of course, Orton and Batista help him up, and they hold him, and he gets in his face with a microphone, and Hunter says, believe in evolution, and he pedigrees Roman Reigns, leaves him laying, and the Shield have been left unconscious in the center of the ring, and that's how we go home on Raw. Okay, let's talk about what we should talk about right now. If you have the WWE Network, you can check out the various Ultimate Warrior Week moments that are going to be broadcast. We're going to be talking about a really awesome Warrior documentary, and then there's also WrestleMania 6 being played over again, and the Legends of WrestleMania special, and it's going to be really awesome. So yes, check those out when you get a chance to. Matches tonight I would check out. Van Dam and Del Rio is okay. If you want to see Axel and Ryback actually win, maybe. The match against the Brotherhood wasn't that great. Again, for spot only, if you want to see Cesaro, go to YouTube and watch Cesaro neutralize Mark Henry. That was awesome. Nothing with Rusev and Xavier Woods. Dolph Ziggler and Wade Barrett. Yeah, definitely check that out. And the main event, just for the return of Evolution. And the awesome promo from Bray Wyatt talking to John Cena. Not so much the hokey-jokey, kid-friendly stuff that Cena was spouting out. No, the serious Bray Wyatt stuff was awesome. And, of course, Stephanie browbeating Kane, leading to the return of the Big Red Monster coming up soon. So we also are still going through this Intercontinental title #1 contendership tournament. In the next round, we have Cesaro against Rob Van Dam and a battle of former and current Paul Heyman guys. And then we have Sheamus and Wade Barrett. So what I think will end up happening, and I'm truly going to believe it's going to happen, I think Van Dam beats Cesaro with Swagger's help. Swagger distracts Cesaro, and Van Dam ends up doing like the body scissors roll up and gets the 3 on that, so Cesaro is gone, and then we get Cesaro and Swagger at Extreme Rules, and I think that will probably be the blow off of that, because I don't think that's going to SummerSlam, but I think Cesaro is doing something major at SummerSlam. I would think Cesaro challenges Bryan at SummerSlam, to be saying the least right now. Sheamus, I have a feeling, will lose to Wade Barrett if he is in an actual match, or if they take him out of the match and let Barrett go to the finals, let him have a bye, given the fact that in tournaments of old, there were buys that happened when there were like double countouts, and obviously, talking about WrestleMania 4, where they had the bye where Hogan and Andre fought to a double countout, and because they fought to a no contest, they were both eliminated, so that gave a bye to the finals. That being said, I think that ends up happening. I think Bad News Barrett ends up going into the finals and faces off against Rob Van Dam in a match that I talked about needed to happen on this very channel last week. And I think that Barrett wins. I think Barrett mows over Big E at Extreme Rules, and I think it is a start of bigger things to come for someone that I've been appreciating since NXT, and that's Wade Barrett. So yeah, I think that they're focusing enough on the Bad News Barrett gimmick that they're going to do something with it, and they're going to rejuvenate Barrett's wrestling career. And I think, and I still hold true to this, Wade Barrett has a really good chance to be the first English-born WWE champion. And I think that he's on the road to do that. I know Magnus was the first ever English-born world champion, but I think that Wade Barrett will be the first ever English-born WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Don't know if it's this year, next year, but I think that Wade Barrett is going to be making more than enough waves in the near future, and that's a good thing. So yeah, very short review this week. Like I said, I got a lot on my mind, and I continue to have a lot on my mind, so sorry about the timing. But wrestling fans, I will join you tomorrow for NXT. We'll talk NXT on Wednesday. And who knows, maybe Thursday you may see Will and Ben again, so it's a possibility. I don't know yet. Friday, of course, AJ's movie reviews. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, actually, and so much so that I don't actually recall what we're going to be talking about. I know we're going to be doing Transcendence, A Haunted House 2, and Heaven is for Real, and I believe 13 Sins is in that list as well. There are a couple things that are going to be talked about. Granted, Budapest Hotel is not this week. I don't know if it's next week, but it's going to be coming up very soon, so we're going to be talking about that very soon. And there's some limited releases we're going to be talking about soon as well. So there's that. And, of course, Saturday, everything's up in the air what we're going to do there. Of course, Sunday is the brand new Versus, and we're going to go to War. So, War-themed Versus this week. So that's going to be a fun one. And it's going to be an interesting week here. We'll go back into next Monday night, which is Raw. Of course, Halloween Horror Nights videos will come as needed as we find out new information, and I found out brand new information the second that I finished the video that I just shot today, and sure enough, there was some information listed about times. So obviously, for all the event nights, all the 6 event nights I will be going to this year, it's the 6:30 to the midnight time. So obviously the early times. And they tweaked the website a little bit, so yeah, that's about it. So, more Halloween Horror Nights videos still to come. Got a lot of brand new stuff I want to talk about, and if everything works out, should have more video footage. Dark as all get out video footage. But video footage nonetheless from Halloween Horror Nights 24 this year from Orlando. So, that being said, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, and help spread the word about Pop. If you'd like to like our Facebook fan page, it's Owen Disney Pop. If you'd like to be my friend on Facebook, send me a friend request, it's Owen Disney. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at Sir Owen Disney. Ooh, God, it's been a long day. Last, certainly not least, if you want to send your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions about anything you want to talk about WrestleMania with me, you want to talk Horror Nights with me, we can talk Disney, we can talk whatever you want, or if you want to become a podcaster, you want to send your videos to me, you're more than welcome to do that. SirOwenDisney@gmail.com. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.